Person versus society. It's a difficult battle, facing one's own moral code and self against the majority. What happens when the person isn't what society accepts? Are they supposed to pass as something they're not or stay true to themselves? There's a group of individuals in this world dealing with that exact problem, in an issue of body ethics. These people are referred to as hermaphrodites, or the newly appointed term intersex. Intersex is defined as someone who is born with ambiguous genitalia, making their gender unsure. It has been estimated that about 1 in 2,000 infants are born intersex. Many people aren't sure whether to raise these children as male or female, and the point is that they shouldn't have to be either. The point is that intersex people should be treated with the same basic ethical rights as every other human being. But many parents aren't accepting of the thought of raising a child intersex. It has been a consistent medical practice to remove a clitoris if it's too large or close up an extra large opening in a penis. Recently, people have begun to protest such medical practices, claiming that no surgery should be performed without consent. Those who have had children who are intersex have often opted to perform corrective surgery on the child to make them one clear gender. This can seem like an easy route to take for the parent, as a child growing up intersex could potentially face ridicule and a psychologically difficult childhood. However, the parent making the decision for the child takes away their right to their own body and sexual identity, as well as can be potentially damaging to their overall health. Doctors in favor of performing the surgery at the earliest age prefer the concealment-centered model. This practice normalizes the child as one clear gender and keeps the surgery a secret from the child. Parents agree to a silence code that leaves children clueless about their innate physical gender identity until old enough to legally have access to their medical records. Gender identity is the way people identify themselves as being male, female, both, or neither. It is not necessarily connected to their given sexual anatomy or sexual orientation. It is both developed from nature and nurture, and sometimes takes years for a person to come to terms with. Designating an identity for a child may negate the way they feel internally and cause harmful, conflicting emotions. Parents worry about the psychologically damaging effects of being raised intersex. But what happens when a female enters puberty and begins to grow facial hair and her voice deepens, and her parents have to explain that she was born both male and female, with her male hormones being unpredictably stronger? Do they expect there to be no psychological effects? But being born intersex is not just common, it's also not a medical danger. Many doctors have come forward saying this procedure is about as medically essential as a facelift. Through the process of medicalization, humans have taken a mere birth variation and made it a defect. Only few intersex individuals are born with metabolic problems, and this can be easily treated without the use of surgery. And this relationship is merely correlation, not causation. There's no evidence that being intersex damages one's health. Though one can grow up healthy being intersexed, having surgery at a young age to change this can have severe health consequences. It increases chances of affecting fertility, sensation, and sexual function. Those who undergo a reassignment surgery should be aware enough of the risks involved, and informed enough to make a proper decision. Most intersex individuals having undergone surgery early in life have to receive multiple surgeries and constant checkups, which prevent them from growing up normal. Since this is a main reason to opt to get the surgery in the first place, parents should realize that because of the standards of our society, an intersex individual would never have a completely normal upbringing. In some cases, the surgeries are irreversible, and the individual who may identify with the opposite gender can never have their ideal body. To minimize harmful surgical consequences and the amount of surgeries one undergoes, as well as take away the anxiety to live up to a certain expectation, intersex individuals should not undergo surgery until they are able to give consent for themselves. To handle growing up intersex or raising an intersex child, therapy is a terrific option. There are many counseling services for people learning to understand and accept this condition. Group therapy can also help the intersex individual to accept that being intersex isn't abnormal or strange. There are many support groups that allow families with intersex members to connect and share their experiences. As for gaining social acceptance at school, it is up to the individual. Issues of dressing and using a certain bathroom as a child shouldn't be ignored, but they also shouldn't be the focus. A child can dress as they please, and it doesn't necessarily have to fit a certain gender role, and this should be stressed for those who aren't intersex as well. And as far as having a male or female bathroom, most schools offer a unisex bathroom or intersex bathrooms where people can avoid this issue altogether. Wanting a child to use a certain gender's bathroom isn't a sufficient reason for an extreme surgery. There's also the rarely discussed option of the individual never getting surgery and instead living with the body they were born with. There are intersex individuals who did not receive surgery as a child who decide later on that they don't want the reassignment surgery. A lot of these individuals claimed a sex as a child in order to have an easier experience dealing with peers. The way our culture works now, it is much easier to be either male or female, and follow the standard traditions of socially constructed gender roles. This is the case that doesn't make it the right answer. Being intersex is not a new or uncommon condition. Perhaps if the general public had a better understanding of this condition, it would no longer be seen in a negative light. Perhaps we should stop looking at intersex individuals as being atypical. Difference does not equate to disease. Parental distress from having to raise a child intersex can be overwhelming. Our society focuses on gender roles, ideas of how males and females should behave. However, their distress should not be a reason to force a life-altering surgery on children who cannot speak for themselves. The surgery risks a child's life, emotional, and physical health. Not only this, but surgery also violates the very basic rights these individuals have to their own bodies. The issue shouldn't be how can we fix these people to make them okay for society. Instead, we should be changing society to make room for these people, to understand and accept them. In a battle of person versus society, for once, let the person win.